This is the exact lead reactivation system that I use to revive dead leads for businesses such as consulting firms, law firms, consultants, coaches, and insurance companies. All such businesses that have a large bunch of old leads sitting in their database that have to do nothing with their revenue and that are just sitting in the pipeline, right? Just wasting that revenue. And how I do it or how the system functions, that's what I'm going to show you in this video. Also, this is one of the systems that I talked about in one of my previous videos where I just showed you three automations or three systems that you can actually sell to businesses that solve real problems and that do drive real ROI for businesses and that are not just some cool to buy objects or automations. So yeah, that's the thing. Now, without any further ado, I'll just get into the automation that I have here. So you can see like I have a lot of nodes here, but you might also notice that all of them are pretty simple nodes, right? Now, before actually getting into the build or like what function does each of these nodes perform, I'll just have to tell you what this lead reactivation system does in general. So what happens is, let's say we have a consulting firm and the firm has been working for the past, 10 to 20 years and there's a whole bunch of leads sitting in the database, like in thousands. Okay, thousands of leads are just sitting in the database, and you can also look up to them as missed revenue because actually 80 to 90% of those leads didn't even convert or didn't even drive any revenue for the business. So what we can do is we can just grab this whole bunch of leads. We can put those leads into this system, and what this system will do is send them reactivation emails. But wait, it's not that simple. So now that we have this bunch of leads, they might not all be the same, right? Some of them might be the ones who actually just inquired but didn't book a call. Some of them might be who did book a call, who took the sales call but didn't get closed. And some of them might be the ones who did get closed, who did work with the business for a long time. And once they were done working with the business, they're just again sitting in the pipeline. So, what this system is going to do, it's basically just going to divide all those leads into these segments according to their purchasing decisions that happened before, as I just told you. And to all those leads, we're going to send personalized emails based on these segments again. And we're actually going to run an email campaign using this system. So, what we're going to do is we're going to grab this bunch of leads, we're going to divide them into segments based on their purchasing decisions they had before. Then we're going to send them personalized emails, or we're going to have these ready-made templates for each segment, which basically will help us connect as much as possible with the prospect and with the other person. And also, if our database of leads also have the information of that why did the lead take the decision they took, such as let's say somebody just booked a sales call but they didn't get closed. So let's say we have a reason for that present in the database in the row containing that lead, that the time was just not right, or they were just not financially ready. So what we can do is we can also use that particular personalized information in this system to make it even more personalized and even more connected. Because imagine that you are a lead to a consulting firm and you get an extremely personalized message from one of the executives of that consulting firm. So it's not pretty normal, right? As compared to if you were about to set an automated email campaign, a completely automated email campaign without much personalization and without much chances of the lead actually connecting to that reactivation message, then it's just not going to be that effective, that efficient, as compared to what we have here. Okay, so now we divided these leads into these segments. We're going to send personalized emails or messages to all these segments. And once the emails are going to be sent, our Google Sheets or basically our CRM or database is going to be updated as the reactivation emails are sent. And then you see the bunch of wait nodes here. So they are basically to wait for 2 days, so each of these wait nodes is set to 12 hours. Now, you might think that why did I set four of them to 12 hours? I could even just take one wait node and set it to 2 days. But the thing is that in NetN, if we set these wait nodes to a very high value, what usually happens is there is a higher chance of an error being caused later. So we don't want that. So we'll rather just use 2 or 4 wait nodes and with 12 hours each so that it makes up to 2 days. And the logic is that once we send that reactivation email, then we're going to wait for 2 days and then we're going to check if the lead actually replied to the email. And if they did, then the conversation would be taken forward as soon as they do reply, right? The conversation would be taken forward by this email reply system, but we'll come back to this later. So what's going to happen is if they reply, this email assistant I just showed you, it'll take over the conversation. But if they didn't reply, So what we're going to do is we're going to send them a follow-up email, which you see right here, this reply to a message node. So we're just going to send them a follow-up email, and we can just send multiple follow-up emails, right? I could just, like, once this one's sent, I could, add up multiple wait nodes again, like set it up to 4 days this time, and then I could search for if I got a reply from the lead, and if I didn't, then I can just send them another follow-up, right? But just to make it simpler, just to make it short, I'm just showing you a single follow-up message for this automation for the system. So yeah, that's basically how this functions. And what you see right here are the three segments. So this is segment number one, this is segment number two, and oops, sorry, and this is segment number three, right? So I hope I made it really clear for you to understand. Now I'll just go through each of these nodes one by one too, but let me just, give you a general overview of this automation because this is probably going to be a pretty large video, what I'm assuming. Okay. So yeah, that was the reactivation campaign setup that we had. Now comes this email reply assistant, which is, I just told you, what it's going to do is anytime a lead replies to our reactivation message, this email reply assistant will just take over and it'll reply to all those emails and eventually book the person to call. Now, this is the core part of this lead reactivation thing because anybody could reactivate leads. I mean, I guess we do have a lot of SaaS platforms out there who do provide this service of reactivating your old leads. But what sets this automation apart is this email reply assistant because what it does is it just replies all the emails for you. And within just like at most 5 minutes of the lead replying to your email, it just replies back to them so that first of all, the conversion rate is high. The other lead actually feels they are having a one-to-one conversation with an executive of that particular business. And again, that just brings us back to the point that it'll increase the conversion rate. Now, in this email reply assistant, you can see that it is very, very simple. What happens is we have this Gmail trigger. So every time we get a reply, we set this Gmail trigger, or every time we get an email, okay, this Gmail node gets triggered, and then we're going to check if that Gmail node is a reply to one of our emails. Because let's say we have a generic email and we do get a lot of these other emails as well, these spam emails as well. So using this if node, we're going to check if that's a reply of one of our previous emails that we sent. And if it is, then we're going to proceed and we're going to get the row from that Google Sheet, which is basically that the lead who replied. Using the email, we're going to get this row containing all their information. And using that information, this AI agent is going to create a reply for me completely like a normal human, having conversational abilities, and is going to send them an email reply. And that's how just the lead and this AI agent can have back-to-back conversations while the lead wouldn't know that the person this side is not actually a person, it's an AI, right? We could also, upgrade this email reply system by just adding a RAG here. RAG, which is basically retrieval augmented generation, which is a method to store our previous conversations memories so that our AI agent can literally have a context of our previous conversations. It's simply like I just activate this thing and I tell him my name is Shiv, and it says, "All right, Shiv, how are you doing?" Then if I ask it what's my name, so if I have a RAG set up, only then it's gonna remember that my name is Shiv, or whatever context of the previous conversations we had. Okay, so basically that's the whole thing, and that's how this whole system functions. Now I'm gonna walk you through step by step to each of these nodes and what information I've filled in there and whatever configurations I have set up for each of these nodes. And also at the end, I'm going to show you this system's demo. And I just have this demo database Google Sheet here containing like lead information, and we can just fill it in using which we're going to demo this particular system. So first of all, we've set this manual trigger just so that we can just manually trigger this workflow, and whenever we have to send reactivation emails to our old leads. And then we have this get Google Sheets data, which basically is connected to the Google Sheet that I showed you, this one. And it just receives all those leads information. And once it does, it routes them by column value, which is, you see, the JSON status. So in this Google Sheet, I've actually got a column such as which is status as bought previously or booked call or in inquiry, right? The example that I just gave you, that if the other person booked a call but didn't buy, or they did buy, or they just inquired but didn't book a call, right? Those are the three categories I'm running with right now. And yeah, this particular, I guess, switch node routes the workflow into three paths, which are again divided by the status. Then we have this send email node, which just sends email to that particular lead because we have their email right in the Google Sheet, and the template just looks like this. It was just going through old conversations, and your name popped up. We worked together a while back, so this is for the one we have worked with before. So yeah, we worked together a while back, and I remember we did achieve some great results. When most people hit a new plateau, they usually miss the hunger and they remain in the same conditions, or even worse, they fall behind and lose a progress they made. Blah 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 blah. So actually, this one, like this system, I've just made it with the perspective of a fitness coach. So let's say a fitness coach actually has to reactivate their old leads. So again, this email template just says that all the progress we've made in the past few months, I hope we don't lose that. And when most people hit a new plateau, they usually miss the hunger of getting more fit and getting more stronger, something like that. And similarly, we have these other Gmail notes. I'm not sure if you're interested in seeing the template, the email template, but they're pretty good. I mean, I've just shown some of my really impressive copywriting skills, and I've just used ChatGPT. Just kidding. So yeah, this is what the second one looks like, which is for the leads which did book a call, but they didn't buy at the end. And then we have this third one, which is for the leads which inquired, but they didn't book a call, and they didn't have any interest as such in the program. Then, after this Gmail node, we have this update row in sheet, which is again just if you see this sheet, we have this last contacted, no, sorry, this reactivation message column. And it's like whenever we send this primary Gmail, this one, to our old leads, then this section just, this column actually gets updated with a message as sent so that we just know that we have sent them a reactivation message. And this is how the Google Sheet looks like. And yeah, you see, in this reactivation message thing, we have this sent value so that whenever any message is sent, we update our Google Sheet or our database of leads. Then we have these four wait nodes, which you can see are 12 hours each. Then we have this get many messages node, which is basically retrieving if we've got any reply from the lead that we just sent an email to. And if we did, so you see here, received after, which is just 2 days before we send them this reactivation message. So after that, if we did receive any email or any replies for them, then it's gonna know. And if we have not got any message, then this will just continue. Then we have this if node, which is like this JSON ID does not exist. And if you don't understand the logic behind it, let me tell you that when we get many messages, let's say the lead has not replied. So what's going to happen is we're not going to get any result out of this get many messages node. And when we're not going to get any result, this JSON.id that is otherwise present when we have got a reply will be missing. And when it's missing, then the workflow will know that they haven't replied us yet. And then we're going to send this follow-up email to them which looks like, hey, name, just wanted to make sure my email didn't get buried somewhere between the spams. Is there something you'd like to revisit, or is this not much relevant as of now, right? This is how the follow-up looks like. I guess that's the same for all three of these segments, but yeah, this is how simple it is. This is how simple to understand, simple to make, and easy it is, right? So now we actually have this email reply assistant. We have this Gmail trigger, which will get triggered whenever we have any email come in or any reply come in. So any email comes in, we this gets triggered, and this if node actually determines if that email is an email or if it's a reply to one of our emails that we sent, right? So if it is a reply, which you see here, the JSON subject or the subject of that email starts with the re, which is like the notation for any reply to any of our previous emails. And if that is the thing, if the subject starts with this, then the workflow will know that that's a reply. And if that's a reply, then we get rows and sheet, which is again, we just get all the information about that particular lead here. And we have this AI agent, which will just craft this new response for us and to just have a back-to-back conversation with the other person. In this prompt user message, I have this email from subject, email content, and additional information. Also, I just have this additional information column in this Google Sheet, which just is like, as I just told you, that if we have any additional information about the lead, that why did they not purchase our program or how long did they work with us. So if we have any information regarding that, we're gonna save that information to this column so that this AI agent can actually benefit from that information and make the email more personalized, increasing the chance of conversion rates again. So this is email from, which is just the, I guess, name of the lead or probably their email. Then there's subject, then there's email content, and then there's additional information. And the system message looks something like, you're an AI email agent writing as Shivansh, have natural human back and forth email conversations with lead who reply, sound calm, casual, and real, never salesy, blah, 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 output the email body only. That's it, right? When the AI agent actually outputs this reply for us, reply to that email, then we have this send email reply Gmail node, which is of course going to send that reply back to the user or back to that lead. So I hope I really made this easy for you to understand, and these hell of some nodes do not scare you, right? And also, I just have this easy explanation, not explanation, but whatever I just spoke about this email reactivation campaign setup of whatever function these nodes perform. So finally, after we've discussed all about this system and all about these nodes, how do they function, whatever values we've put in there, and how they get connected to this and this, whatever, right? Now we're going to jump to a demo of this whole thing. So what I'm going to do is let's just go to this Google Sheet, and I have this one legit email for myself, and which is set to inquiry. All of these are set to bought previously booked call, and I have this additional information. So let's say I did buy. Of course, I'm going to test it for myself because that's the only legit email I have in this whole section. So I'm going to put some additional information like bought the program for 2 months, no, okay, 3 months, and achieved good results. Good results. Okay, that's it. And what we're gonna do else is, okay, I guess that's enough. So now what's gonna happen is, let's just execute this workflow from this manual trigger. Now, when we execute it, it's gonna take all the leads, then all these, okay, actually, there's a problem here that I didn't deactivate these wait notes, so it's gonna make me wait for 2 days, which I, of course, don't want to. So I'll just really quickly deactivate all these wait nodes just to, show this demo and just so that this video doesn't get 2 days long, right? Okay, almost done, and bingo, right? So I've deactivated all these wait nodes, and I'll just have to reset some values here. So I'll just pick this reactivation message. I'll just write. Okay, so let's execute the workflow once again. And when I do click on it, okay, it's getting all the leads. Then this, it's send the email, get many messages, and whatever, whatever, right? Then the second one happens, and the third one happens. Third one, which is the one that contains our record. So if in we see in the Google Sheets, you see R1 or all of them have this reactivation message as sent. And if I check my email, okay, right here, we actually get the email and it says, still exploring this or now. Hey, you had reached out earlier about working with me, but we never actually connected for some reason. Just wanted to check if there's something you're still thinking about, or did you go in a different direction? Either answer is totally fine. I just didn't want to check in with you again, blah, blah, blah. Also, you see, we have this email was sent automatically with an end thing right here. So to solve this, what I'm going to do is, let me just switch the windows. Yup. So what we're going to do is, to solve this one, we're going to go to this init end thing, and in this sent email, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to add option. This append init end attribution, I'll just have to click it and set it off, right? I'll just have to do it for all three of them to not get that particular message right here. But yeah, forgetting that, we actually had completed what we wanted to. And once this gets proceeded, we have this get many messages node, which actually gets the reply, which actually scrapes if we had any reply from the same lead. Again, for the sake of this demo, I'm going to show you how this if thing works, if we actually reply to it. So again, I'll just switch back to that window of mine where we just got the email, and yep, we did. But then let's just reply to it. Yes, I'm still interested. Send. And okay, the message is sent. I'm going to switch back to the init in window. And now if I just click on this get me messages node, so it's going to scrape the reply for me. Okay, let's just run this now. It actually got the reply. Now I run this if node and it shows false. It shows false because we actually replied to it. And because we replied, now we are not able to send a follow-up email to the lead, which again was just us. And that's how this thing works, right? If we had not replied to it, only then would this workflow would have gone ahead and send this, follow-up email. Right. So this was the whole system, which was really simple, really easy to understand, and really easy to implement even. But let me tell you, it takes some understanding of how this thing works and some understanding of how we actually reactivate leads. And one of the core reasons why this would work as a lead reactivation system as compared to any other cold outreach thing is, first of all, the bonus point is that we don't actually have to pay for new leads because we already have a lot of them sitting in our database. And the second one is that the very major point is that these leads sitting in our database are warm leads. They are not completely cold leads. So we already know that these leads have interest in whatever product or service we have. And that's what I've also talked about in one of my latest videos, which was about this lead reactivation system and how it works and why it works. So I'll just put it up here. You can just go check it out if you want to. So yeah, like that's the whole thing. That's the whole concept of this thing. That why the conversion rate is so high for this lead reactivation system is because the leads we have are actually really qualified, and because we have such a high volume, which I've experienced is usually around 1,000, just starts from 1,000 and goes up to like 12, 13,000. Even if you have just a 2% conversion rate or even 1% conversion rate, let's take. So out of those 1,000 leads, you are converting 10 clients, which are going to be huge for this business, right? And also the conversion rate might be even less than one. Just don't take it as a standard that it's going to happen because I said so, right? I'll just give you an example. So that's the whole thing. I really hope you liked it. And if you did, I'll just again, I've just pinned the video up here, which just shows, which just tells you even more about this system, which just not shows you the build, but just shows you why the system works, why businesses want it, and why this benefits other businesses as compared to some other automations or systems, right? So that's the whole thing. I really hope you liked it. This is like one of the systems that I am up to now, and which are like really high ROI, and which I believe that do make a really great sense when it comes to providing services as an agency for other businesses. So yeah, that's the whole thing. I again really hope you liked it. I really hope I was articulate throughout the video. Now, if you're a business owner who's looking forward to implement this exact system for yourself and your business, your team, and just wants to reactivate all those old leads and old revenue sitting in the database, then I'll just drop a link in my description, this video's description. You can just check the link and reach me out there. We can just have a conversation. We can just discuss some ideas on how this system can actually benefit your business, which absolutely would, because again, it's just a concept of conversion. But yeah, even if you're looking forward to implementing any other systems that I've uploaded on my channel, or which I usually talk about, even then I'll just check the link. We can have a conversation. I can also prepare a completely personalized audit for you, showing areas and showing opportunities where AI can come in and really, benefit your business, really get your work done very efficiently and very effectively as compared to when done manually by a human team, right? So that's the whole thing. Thanks for watching the video. I'll just see you in the next one, and that's it. Bye bye.